2020, where the victim was shot 3 times. The court cited overwhelming evidence and the heinous nature of the crime in delivering judgment. In energy-related news, Gridco and ECG are working to restore electricity to Obuasi and New Idubiase after a fire outbreak at the Obuasi substation. The incident occurred on the night of May 21, causing widespread power outages. Engineers are currently assessing the extent of damage to equipment before reconnecting the affected areas to the national grid. ECG's PRO Benjamin Owusu-Entry explained the bulk supply point's critical role in power distribution. He said ECG cannot serve customers until the substation's integrity is confirmed. Residents and businesses in the affected areas have been assured of swift restoration efforts. Now let's turn our attention to labor and education. And the Ministry of Finance has approved revised allowances for 3 senior staff unions in Ghana's public universities. The move follows successful negotiations with the government and takes retrospective effect from November 1st. And finally, in diplomatic affairs, a heated exchange has emerged over claims about past and present visa processing timelines, while the Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa has dismissed claims by ex-Deputy Minister Charles Redu that visas were processed in 2 to 5 days under the previous government. Ablakwa insists this is false and cites data from official embassy websites to back his point. He mentioned that embassies in Washington, New York, Germany, and the UK had processing times ranging from 15 business days to 3 weeks under the MPP. His response came after announcing a new 2 to 5 day processing window under current reforms. Ablakwa says these changes show improved service delivery under the new administration. The issue has sparked debate over the actual performance records of Ghana's foreign missions. And that's how we end tonight's summary. Over to you, Alfred.
Thank you very much, Christabel. So we get this more news on 3news.com. Make some time and visit 3news.com. And we'll go straight into the issues now. And we're just getting some information. The senior staff of the universities, they've called off their indefinite strike right now. That's a few minutes ago, and that's information we're getting right now. And the Senior Staff Associations of the Universities of Ghana, together with the Technical University Administrators Association and the Federation of University Senior Staff Association, they have suspended their indefinite strike following the government's positive response to their demands. The strike, which began yesterday, May 21, was declared in response to what the unions described as a 6-month delay in implementing an agreement to improve their conditions of service. The unions accused both the current and previous governments of failing to honor the terms of the negotiated deal. The national chairman of the Senior Staff Association of the Universities in this country, George Ansong, said the decision to strike was made after exhaustive, all-inclusive, and as it were, the deliberation not meeting the expectation of the various unions. Now, so that's the information that we have on this particular development right now. We're also learning as well that this was after the Finance Ministry also yielded positively to one of a number of demands that the Senior Staff Association of the public universities in this country were making. So that's the information right now that we're hearing here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. And this is George Ansong, who spoke earlier to us on this particular one, why they had gone on strike even before this decision to call off the strike.
It's a condition of service, which is reviewed every 2 years. And we concluded negotiations last year, November, and signed. And after yesterday, the government had failed to implement. Not that we have not followed up, not that we have not written the letters, not that we have not met with the big men. But fortunately for us, yesterday in the evening, the government has released a letter instruction direction for implementation. And GTEC has also written this morning to the universities to implement the decision. So we are engaging our people, because we are 3 unions, we are engaging all of them to take a decision to call off the strike. The government has done it. As I'm saying, we are still engaging. So once government has done its part, once we finish the engagement, we'll issue a statement. So for me, for now, I think we are satisfied with what we have received. But as I said, the technical university national chairman is not around. He's in Boga. The FUTA chairman is in Accra. I am in Kumasi. So we need to engage because since we all signed, we need to all come with one voice. So that is why I'm saying we are engaging.
Well, so you just heard the national chairman of the Senior Staff Association of the Universities in Ghana, George Ansong, there, indicating the reasons why they have called off this indefinite strike, which began yesterday. And so, as a result of the Finance Ministry favorably responding to their demands. Now, let's go straight to other issues right now. This is one that we've been following quite closely here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7, also on Kesme 107.1 in Tamale and beyond. We're live on W93.5 in Wa and beyond. But before we go into this CCTV footage at the center of the alleged meeting of some persons who are members of the committee, and also hearing the petitions against the Chief Justice, tonight 3FM has obtained the CCTV footage at the center of this alleged meeting. Christabel?
Yes, that's very right. And now the basis for the calls to dissolve the committee hearing petitions for the removal of Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono, a former MPP parliamentary aspirant for the Adenta constituency, Alfred Akrofi Ocansey, has petitioned President Mahama to dissolve the 5-member committee. He alleges that 2 committee members and the counsel for one of the petitioners were seen having dinner at a restaurant in Accra, where they were overheard discussing matters related to the petition. Now, according to Kumi, this meeting and the discussion of the case over dinner undermines the integrity and credibility of the ongoing inquiry, Alfred.
Now, we're going to put the video, this CCTV video, we're putting it on our Facebook page right now at 3FM 927. If you haven't seen the video that we're talking about right now, this former NPP parliamentary aspirant for the Adenta constituency, Alfred Akrofi Ocansey, the basis for his petition to President Mahama to dissolve this 5-member committee, which we must put on record is already working. They've started the work of hearing the petitions against the suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono. And for some time last week, we got a communication from the presidency to that effect. If you go on our Facebook page at 3FM 927, this CCTV video footage that we have a copy of is rolling right now. If you see it, I'm just going to describe to you the details of this CCTV video footage. Now, lawyer Thaddeus Sorry is seen seated in the middle of the said restaurant with Kote Jani having a meal and talking. Now, in the course of the video, you'll see, notice that 3 people walk in together, and the first person amongst the 3 walks past Thaddeus Sorry's table without even noticing him, and then followed by Yoni Kolendi, that's Justice Yoni Kolendi, who first notices Kote Jani in this particular video. Now, he shakes him and later shakes Thaddeus and engages in a chit-chat with him briefly and proceeds to join others he came with. Immediately after Thaddeus Sorry's attention is drawn to the presence of the other judge in the restaurant, and as it is courtesy, really, between the bar and the bench demands, Thaddeus Sorry is seen moving from his seat to greet the other judge and returns to his seat. Now, the video shows clearly that the entire engagement did not last beyond 1 minute. Now, the video also shows that there was no meeting between lawyer Thaddeus Sorry and the judges, as has been widely circulated. Now, if you go on our Facebook page right now at 3FM 927, we're showing you the video footage of this particular CCTV video footage at the restaurant. And you see Thaddeus Sorry and the judges having that conversation, and Thaddeus Sorry moving from his seat to greet the other judge. In fact, they then exchange pleasantries. He hugs them. If you are on our Facebook page at 3FM927 right now, you'll see this CCTV video footage which we have obtained, which is at the center of this allegation against some members of the 5-member committee, which is now hearing the petitions against the Chief Justice seeking her removal. And it is this former NPP parliamentary aspirant for the Adenta constituency who is basing on this CCTV video footage from the restaurant to petition President Mahama to dissolve this committee, because he alleges that there was a meeting amongst them, these members of the committee, at this said restaurant to, as it were, plan the removal of the Chief Justice. Well, the video footage we're showing you right now shows there was no such, at least the conversation between the lawyers, that's Tadio Sorry, and as we see there, the first lawyer, Tadio Sorry, was seated in the middle of the restaurant with Kote Jani having a meal. They were talking. And then in the course of the video, 3 people walk in together. The first person walks past Tadio Sorry. So there are 2 people, and that's, if you're on our Facebook page right now, you see the 3 people walking in. And then the first person walks past Tadio Sorry's table without even noticing him, and then followed by Justice Yoni Kolendi, who first notices Kote, and then they exchange some pleasantries. He shakes him, and also later shakes Tadio Sorry and engages in the chat with him briefly, proceeds to join the others he came with. Immediately after Tadio Sorry's attention is drawn to the presence of the other judge in the restaurant, as it is courtesy between the bar and the bench, Tadio Sorry then moves from his seat to get the other judge also exchange that pleasantry and returns to his seat. Now, the video footage also shows that engagement that ensued was out of courtesy, at least from what we are seeing, the 3 people just walking in right now. And also, Justice Poamang, who is mentioned in this petition, based on the video that we have obtained, was not in the video. The video also shows that this conversation amongst them was under 1 minute. What happened is akin to seeing a colleague in town, and then also that exchange of pleasantries. As we are saying right now, if you go on our Facebook page at 3FM927, you can also see this video, which is at the center of this alleged meeting, which is now the basis for calls to dissolve the committee, hearing the petitions for the removal of the Chief Justice, Gertrude Tokono. Now, Martin Pepo is private legal practitioner, joining us on the telephone right now. Counsel, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Ocansey.
Great. And Counsel, first of all, I want to establish, have you seen this video, this CCTV video footage of the restaurant and this alleged meeting among some members of the committee probing the Chief Justice petition, and then also lawyer Tadio Sorry? Have you seen it?
Yes, I saw it about 5 minutes ago. Actually, I was in a meeting and then I had to come out to fetch some photocopies, and then the rest is history. But I just saw it about 5 minutes ago.
Perfect. What does that communicate to you? How does that strike you? Does it appear as though it was a meeting to, based on the petitioner's claim, plan the exit of the Chief Justice?
Not at all. Not at all. This is not a planned meeting. This is what Kisi Ejabin calls luckless coincidence. Kisi Ejabin's favorite phrase. It's a luckless coincidence. Thank God there is a CCTV, and it speaks for itself. And like you rightly analyzed, under a minute. So it's normal when I say we, when lawyers see the judges, they greet them. Judges see lawyers and also greet. So it's part of the bench-bar relationship. It would have been strange, right, for Sorry to see Justice Echiedu and not go to greet him. You see it. So the one I saw is Justice Echiedu
there, and then Justice Kulendi, right? And Sorry and Justice Kulendi have a long relationship, right? So you can't say because Justice Kulendi is on the bench when Sorry sees him, Sorry cannot greet him. Fortunately, Justice Kulendi is not even on the committee. When it comes to Justice Sedu, you see, they just exchange pleasantries, right? Sorry just bowed to him, and that was it. Is that not they didn't even speak much, right? So
Yes.
it's good. It's good that there's a CCTV to prove that this one is just they just exchange pleasantries. That's it. I don't see so far anything in this video to enhance the dissolution of the committee.
Well,
Yeah, it's just I mean, what I see is that when citizens protest, it tells you that yes, they want to see better laws. But this one, so far, I don't see how we can use this as grounds to dissolve the committee. Not yet. Maybe then, no, I don't see. You can never say that a lawyer should not treat a judge or a judge should not treat a lawyer when they meet. It's not possible. What kind of society are we then creating?
And in the mind of the petitioner, to the extent that, yes, you describe it as a luckless coincidence, but in the mind of the petitioner, it says to the extent that the pleasantries were exchanged, and however brief the conversation was, he is pointing at that as some sort of a meeting, planned meeting. Does that take the box for you?
No, it doesn't at all. It's like the petitioner is clinging at straw. Yeah, petitioner is clinging at straw. This one, we will just move ahead and then, put this behind us.
You will not advise the president to pay attention to the petition at all?
At all. This doesn't merit that. I mean, this is clinging at straw. Yes. It's okay. It just shows that, yes, Ghanaians are vigilant, but this time, that's all that it is. So it will be a warning to everybody to always watch their back. Yes, so that's a lesson from it, but not one that should result in a dissolution of the committee.
I see, but even with this the restaurant as well, there are others who have made the point about this CCTV video even being the basis for this particular petition, and the said restaurant as well, on the matter of privacy, is it not?
Yes, there are issues of privacy. All right, there are. We'll see where to strike the balance because it's a public place. Then now maybe we'll need to check the. We need to review it as because it's a public place. Yes, then that way, being in a public place, you need to check the rules. What have the owners of the facility stated that this whole place is there's a wired, not necessarily wired, that there's CCTV. So there's pictures. So some hotels and restaurants, when you go, you are put on notice that there's a public place and so there's CCTV. So I need to get more information about the conditions of access before I can make any further comment in this direction.
So asking the president to dissolve a committee probing the petition merely because of this less than 1 minute encounter at the restaurant where the people had converged is not a demand with basis, essentially, from what you say.
Absolutely. That is way over the top. Let's not kid ourselves, Because you see the law. So let me, just 1 minute on law, then I have to run back into my meeting. You see, you're looking at if there was an extended conversation, one that creates the possibility that they were even discussing the case, then you can say once you see that there's an extended conversation and you can't tell what is in the conversation, I would have voted for a removal of the third judge. So far, is it Justice Sedu is the only one we see in there? Is that not correct?
Yes. So Justice
But
Palmer
this
is
one, you see
mentioned,
that
but he's not in there as based on the video as we've seen it.
Excellent. So you see that he only exchanged pleasantries. So this doesn't go, doesn't create that situation, because the law is that if there is a real likelihood of bias, yes, you can do so. And one of the grounds will be that, they met and then they had a long conversation that shows some affinity that will bring some bias. You see, so we use real likelihood. We don't use the likelihood. It's a real likelihood of bias. So it's a higher test. But this one you don't see. So that's the standard. When we say the law, you see Salah versus Attorney General, even the speaker case, Afenyo Martin versus the speaker, etc. It's because of this, the test we use. That's why Chief Justice Tokonu in the Afenyo Martin versus speaker case said that the fact that Justice Enes who was once an MPP parliamentary candidate, was not sufficient to meet the real likelihood of bias test. And that's how come Justice who was not accused. Yes, so it's the same thing here. This one is just pleasantry. Okay, so thank you. That's it, right.
Counsel, I do appreciate your thoughts on this. Thank you so much. Martin Pebo is private legal practitioner joining us on this particular one. They're here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7, and he makes a point quite strongly as well that this video, the CCTV video footage which we're showing right now, if you go on our Facebook page at 3FM 927, from his legal understanding and analysis, cannot form a strong and legitimate basis for the call for the dissolution of this 5-member committee hearing the petitions seeking the removal of the Chief Justice from office. So as you've seen in the CCTV video footage, as we're showing right now at 3FM 927, and you can go there right now and you'll see the video footage as we're showing it right now here on 3FM 927. That's on Facebook and also on YouTube. Now, based on the footage, Thaddeus Sorry was already seated, as we're seeing in the video right now, in the said restaurant before the 3 other persons entered. Justice Palmer was not cited in this video as we're showing, and conclusively, he might not have been one of the 3 justices that the Chief Justice has named in this latest from her. Now, this encounter we see didn't last more than 20 seconds, as the video footage, as we're showing you right now at 3FM 927, clearly dictates. And if you go on our Facebook page at 3FM 927, you'll see what we're talking about. Now, in the course of the video, the 3 people walk in together, and the first person walks past Thaddeus Sorry stable without even noticing him, as lawyer Thaddeus Sorry, and then followed by Justice Yoni Kolendi, who first notices that's Kotejani, who was seated with lawyer Thaddeus Sorry. He shakes him and later shakes lawyer Thaddeus Sorry and engages in a brief chit-chat with him and proceeds to join the others he came with. Immediately after Thaddeus Sorry's attention is drawn to the presence of the other judge, in this case specifically we're talking about Justice Esiedu, he also then moves to him. As lawyer Martin Pebo indicated, it is the practice and dictates of the bar that out of respect you would want to ensure that pleasantries are exchanged in respect or out of respect for the senior at the bar. In this case, Justice Esiedu, who was seated on the other side. Now, what the video is showing clearly, and also is the length of the engagement between these persons we're talking about, which is less than 1 minute, as we're saying, on Facebook right now at 3FM 927. And if you go there, you'll see exactly what the video dictates, and also you can make a judgment for yourself. Christian Mamhese is private legal practitioner. He's joining us well on the telephone. Counsel, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Mr. Ocansey. And same to your listeners alike.
Have you seen this video, this CCTV video we're talking about?
Yes, I've seen it circulating on social media.
Great. And does it I mean, from Lawyer Martin People's perspective, it's not a solid, strong ground to ask for the dissolution of this committee because, in his words, just like Kesia Jabin, the special prosecutor, posted, this is a luckless coincidence. What's your thought on what you saw?
All right. I mean, just the citing of the video it doesn't necessarily establish a firm ground unless probably the Leonard former Attorney General has another video, but for all that we are seeing, I mean, you don't need to be a forensic expert to read into the body posture, contacts, gestures, whether verbal or non-verbal gesture posturing of the parties involved. Like my Leonard senior rightly mentioned, I mean, for between the bar and the bench, it is one of nobility. Our profession is a noble profession, as is always said. So even when you are not in court and you realize that this is a judge, you gently bow, not that you go down, but you show it's a sign of respect that we always do, whether you are in court or not, and that has been our practice. I also gather that I stand to be corrected, even with the military, when you meet senior officers, even outside Burma camp, they still show that respect by saluting, or they just remain a little bit of standstill. So, I mean, every profession and how that is carried out, but whether this could be construed as discussion of the matter is about evidence leading, because you alleges as a higher burden must discharge that burden. So Mr. Dami might have a reason why he wants to put that out, unless his reasons or evidence, as I may say, constitute what is speculated or it would be for the court to see and also to put whatever probative value it would want to put on it to convert the particular matter. But as it is now, this video, there's nothing much about it, because the video does not go to the extent of the said meeting. And indeed, if even there is that, no conversation came out of that for us to establish whether indeed there was a conversation about the proceedings and all of that. So there are a lot more loopholes with this particular video if we want to transpose it to what they claim is. But like I said, unless there is another evidence that the applicant is looking at putting out here.
Counsel, I do appreciate your thought, but kindly stay with me, because there's another matter that I want to seek your thoughts on here on Hot Edition, and this has to do with the latest on Godfrey Yeboah-Adaming. Christabel?
Yeah, a private citizen, Daniel Kwame Ofosu-Appiah, has formally petitioned the General Legal Council, GLC, accusing former Attorney General and Minister for Justice Godfrey Yeboah-Adaming of professional misconduct in relation to the criminal trial of Dr. Cassiel Atuforcing and others, filed under Section 18 of the Legal Profession Act 1960, Act 32. The complaint cites an audio recording admitted into evidence in court as proof that Mr. Dami allegedly attempted to influence the testimony of Richard Jatba, the third accused in the case. The audio, supported by WhatsApp messages between the two, forms part of a series of evidence Mr. Ofosu-Appiah believes warrants disciplinary action. According to the complaints, Mr. Dami's conduct engaging privately with a represented party during an active trial violates multiple provisions of the legal profession. Professional Conduct and Etiquettes Rules 2020, including breaches relating to honesty, witness tampering, and undermining the administration of the justice.
And this relates to the Richard Jakpa leaked audio tape during this entire trial sometime last year prior to the elections. And Counsel Christian Mamhesi, I mean, this is one that some say an action that should have been taken long ago after this revelation by Richard Jakpa and putting out the audio recording between him and then also the former Attorney General Godfrey Yeboah-Dame had coaching him as witness on what to do. Is this petition one that generates a matter of interest, as it were, and has basis to address that particular action by Godfrey Yeboah-Dame last year?
It is quite interesting for the person, the petitioner, because it is one that the General Legal Counsel would have to look at the merits of it, whether the person indeed is grounded in locus to file such petition. I mean, for them to even go into it, as in whether he's the right person to have that done, whether persons unrelated to such matter can just bring an action, I mean, a petition against a lawyer to. So it is one limb for the General Legal Counsel to determine, and also the veracity of it would also be another matter that the General Legal Counsel will go into to establish the circumstances and indeed if they find it grounding, then they go by our ethical rules and the sanction regimes that exist. But I believe Mr. Dame is going to fight this out.
I say, if you say in fighting it out, exactly what is going to be the point of defense, especially
I believe he's going to fight it out. Mm-hmm. I mean, definitely, when one files a petition against you, you would respond to it, and it's a legal process. So you are going to raise all the legal, whether red flags or whatever legal option you have to exercise to defend yourself. The person would, and he's a lawyer, he's a seasoned lawyer, he knows how to handle this, and it would be as that, because I mean it is one allegation, and this is not trial in public, but it's in a legal forum, so definitely there's going to be a fight back, and that fight back is a legal process, not a physical one.
We'll see how things play out, but I thank you so much for joining us here on Hot Edition. Christian Mamhesi is private legal practitioner, but for lawyer Martin Pebo, he says that in the midst of all of this, he was surprised that the suspended Chief Justice Getto Tukono will now have the former Attorney General Godfrey Yeboah-Dame as her lawyer in this interlocutory injunction that she has filed at the Supreme Court yesterday. Take a listen to him.
Surprised, and I felt shocked. I mean, to be very candid with you, shocked because, look, number one, I don't know why of all the lawyers this world, the Chief Justice went for Godfrey Dame. Godfrey Dame, who was caught on the Jakpa being engaged in very unethical conduct, and you see that this is the person the Chief Justice is choosing, then you are like, oh, maybe, you see, I mean, the optics, it's not everything I can say, but the moment you draw that linkage, you see that, we are in trouble. Yeah, we are in extreme trouble. Then you begin to ask that, okay, so is this part of the reason why Godfrey Dame never got sanctioned in the first place? You see, so people can draw all manner of legitimate questions from this alliance. It's very tacky. Very, very, very tacky. It's a difficult situation. Because Godfrey Dame was very unethical in the Japa tape. He was coaching a witness, suborning a witness, all those things. And then you find the Chief Justice go for Godfrey Dame. They're like, okay, now you would understand certain things. Look, Mr. Ocansey, this is not the last you see of this alliance. You're going to see a lot more things that will be very, unpalatable. Yes. Trust me, in this nation, we sit here, you can see certain things. It's terrible. It's really terrible. Yeah, to be very honest. But look, if we don't speak the truth, we will not get far. Come on. This is a guy who has an ethics case, a very serious one at that, on his head. And you say he should come and lead the charges. And he was Attorney General. You see, in the speaker case, there were issues. People had raised many questions. So this link begins to answer some of those questions. So it's really a serious matter. Yes, it's really serious. I'm shocked. To be very honest, I'm shocked. You say it. So, but, it's a democracy. Somebody say, the General Legal Council has not dealt with the case yet, and so we cannot draw conclusions. Yes, fair enough. Yes, the General Legal Council hasn't gone into it. But there are also certain situations where you always need the Caesar's wife's test. Live beyond reproach. You see, there are certain things you should do that will be said that they shouldn't draw suspicions. That's a key thing. Don't do certain things to draw suspicions, especially as there were already suspicions when the speaker matter came. Yes, there are suspicions. They are not, somebody will tell you that a multitude of suspicions do not constitute proof. Yes.
That's Martin Pebo, is private legal practitioner. They're sharing their thoughts on this. But you're also live here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7, also on Kesmi 107.1 in Tamale and beyond. We're live on W 93.5 in Wa and beyond. Your thoughts, views, comments, and opinions are welcome at 3FM 927, and a number of you commenting on the issues that we've been talking about here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. Keep your thoughts coming through. Now, there is some news just coming through right now here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7, and this is a breaking news that we've been monitoring quite closely, and it's been developing over the last at least 30 minutes to an hour now, and this is it here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7.
Breaking news on 3FM 92.7.
Well, we have news from the presidency.
Yes, and the Vice President Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman this afternoon returned home from London, United Kingdom, where she traveled for medical treatment. She was welcomed at the airport by President John Dramani Mahama, First Lady Mrs. Lordina Dramani Mahama, Chief of Staff Julius Deborah, the Vice President's Chief of Staff Alex Sebefia, and other senior government officials. Also at the airport were the presiding bishop of the Methodist Church and the family members of the Vice President. Well, in her brief remarks, the Vice President thanked Ghanaians for their prayers, sent her appreciation to her doctors and the medic staff at the UGMC, and celebrated President Mahama and his young brother Ibrahim for their support, thoughtfulness, and care.
So that's the news coming through right now from the presidency. If you go on our Facebook page at 3FM 927, we're showing you pictures of the arrival of the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, exchanging pleasantries with the Minister in charge of Defense and Dr. Edward Omane-Boamah. Also, you have the Chief of Staff there, Julius Deborah, also there to receive him. And right now, she is in the pictures walking together hand in hand with the President, John Dramani Mahama, and the First Lady, Lordina Mahama, holding her hand, and they're walking together. And she's seen also exchanging pleasantries with the clergy, some clergy members who were there to receive him as well. And Yes, and her return marks the end of her medical leave that began after she reportedly fell ill, if you recall, on Friday, March 28, 2025. She was initially admitted to the University of Ghana Medical Center for evaluation and treatment. That a statement that was issued by the Office of the President Sunday, March 30, confirmed that indeed the Vice President was in stable condition and responding well to treatment. Following her discharge from the University of Ghana Medical Center, Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman was flown to the UK for further medical care. And officials indeed emphasized that the move was precautionary and necessary for her full recovery. Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman's return home is seen as a reassuring sign of her recovery and is expected to resume official duties in the coming days. So we have all the pictures of her arrival right now live at 3FM 927. You can go to our Facebook page at 3FM 927. We're showing that to you right now here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. While at it, some more coming through from the medical laboratory scientists.
Yes, they have issued a 2-week ultimatum to the government. They are demanding financial clearance or face potential labor unrest. The association says that over 3,000 of its members are currently sidelined, adding strain to the workload in public hospitals. General Secretary of the Medical Lab Professional Workers Union expressed concern that any further delay could spark an industrial action. Our Labour Affairs correspondent, Daniel Poku, spoke exclusively with the General Secretary of the Association, Dr. Cephas Akoto. Lab scientist. Well, we'll bring you that in our subsequent bulletins. Let's move on. Now, 3FM News has gathered that Ghana has confirmed 4 more new cases of Mpox, bringing the total of cases to 9. Although the numbers of confirmed cases of the disease keep rising, health authorities say there is no cause for alarm. The 4 new confirmed cases we gathered are not related. 2 were confirmed from the Western region and the other 2 from the Greater Accra. Earlier, there were 3 cases recorded in the Accra Metro, with 2 more recorded in the Western region. 3 news sources can confirm that contact tracing is still ongoing, while those traced are currently being monitored. Surveillance remains heightened at the regional health directorates as the Ghana Health Service reactivates response protocols, including contact tracing to prevent further transmission.
We'll get back to that story, but right now the Interior Minister, Muntaka Mohamed Mubarak, has urged the chiefs and people of Dabang to ensure that they consolidate and protect the peace in the kingdom and by far the northern region. The minister noted that the northern region, which was tagged as a volatile region, is now one of the most peaceful regions in the country. The visit by the minister to the northern region is the first since he assumed office as Interior Minister. I'm going to take a listen to him interacting with the traditional authorities there.
What we have in our country is 334. 334. Ranging from communal conflicts to religious differences, conflicts, to land disputes all over the country. But I'm happy to announce to my grandfather that in northern region, the number of hotspots have reduced drastically to just about 6 hotspots. It is my prayer that we work very hard to make sure that this even 6 reduces drastically, inshallah. Since I sent the tone as the Interior Minister, there were a lot of curfews, there were a lot of disturbances, and constantly working very hard to bring them down. And I'm happy to announce to him that I came to meet 13 curfews across our country, where there were disturbances and we had to impose curfews. By the grace of Allah, today, as I stand here, we've been able to lift some of them. Today, the curfews are 7. And we are working very hard so that we wake up under our tenure that no place in our country is so unsafe that we have made 13 curfews across our country, where there were disturbances and we had to impose curfews. By the grace of Allah, today, as I stand here, we've been able to lift some of them. Today, the curfews are 7. And we are working very hard so that we wake up under our tenure that no place in our country is so unsafe that we have to keep a curfew. We'll continue to work towards that, inshallah.
That's the Interior Minister, Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak there. Let's go back to our earlier story on the increase in the confirmed cases of Mpox in the country.
Yes, it has been confirmed that 4 more new cases of Mpox has been confirmed, bringing the total to 9. Although the numbers of confirmed cases of the disease keep rising, health authorities say there is no cause for alarm. The 4 new confirmed cases we gathered are not related to were confirmed from the Western region and the other 2 from the Greater Accra region. Earlier, there were 3 cases recorded in the Accra Metro, with 2 more recorded in the Western region. 3 news sources can confirm that contact tracing is still ongoing, while those traced are currently being monitored. Surveillance remains heightened at the regional health directorates as the Ghana Health Service reactivates response protocols, including contact tracing, to prevent further transmission.
Oh, let's stay a bit further on this, and thankfully we have Madam Grace Alfred Ocansey, President of the Field Epidemiology and Laboratory Alumni Network of Ghana. Madam, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, good evening, and thank you for having me. Good evening to your service listeners.
I mean, we're hearing of these increases in the case of the confirmed cases of Mpox. Does it create any sense of concern, or should it worry us and members of the general public?
Thank you very much for the question. I don't think we should be worried as you have.
Well, let's do some other stories. The Ghana Water Company.
We'll try to raise her back on the telephone for some more.
The Ghana Water Company Limited has commenced spillage of the Wager Dam to release excess water and safeguard the dam's integrity. The company says it will not take responsibility for any unfortunate incidents, as it has given advance notice to communities along the spillways. George Quainin was in the area to monitor. He also engaged the public relations manager of Ghana Water Company, Stanley Mate, on the back of the spillage.
We'll be back shortly after this quick break. Stay with us here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7.
Get ready, Ghana. The road is calling and the wheels are spinning. It's the 3FM Tour du Ghana happening Saturday, 7th June 2025. From the heart of Accra to the border town of Ablao, we are pedaling for the planet in a thrilling 192-kilometer ride across Ghana's scenic eastern corridor. Whether you're a seasoned cyclist or a passionate pedal pusher, this is your moment to shine. Form your teams, grab your helmet, and race for glory in Ghana's biggest cycling showdown. Challenge your limits, conquer the distance, ride for sustainability, be part of history. To register, call 0531 100 927 or 0532 200 927. 3FM Tour du Ghana, powered by 3FM. Get ready, Ghana. The road is calling and the wheels are spinning. It's the 3FM Tour du Ghana happening Saturday, 7th June 2025. From the heart of Accra to the border town of Ablao, we are pedaling for the planet in a thrilling 192-kilometer ride across Ghana's scenic eastern corridor. Whether you're a seasoned cyclist or a passionate pedal pusher, this is your moment to shine. Form your teams, grab your helmet, and race for glory in Ghana's biggest cycling showdown. Challenge your limits, conquer the distance, ride for sustainability, be part of history. To register, call 0531 100 927 or 0532 200 927. 3FM Tour du Ghana, powered by 3FM.
early every weekday because of you, to keep you on top of your game. Yeah!
You are at the center of our universe. That's why we make it a duty to serve you only the freshest, hottest news and entertainment. When you want it, where you want it.
Good morning, Ghana, Africa, and the rest of the wonderful world. Welcome to Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Start your day well informed. Start with us on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Catch the all-new Sunrise Morning Show on 3FM 92.7 with me, Johnny Hughes, Helena Piambofo. Weekdays from 5:55 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on 3FM 92.7.
3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
Thank you for staying with us here on 3FM 92.7. And let's continue with our Mpox story. Again, 3FM News has gathered that Ghana has confirmed 4 more new cases of Mpox, bringing the total of cases to 9. Although the numbers of confirmed cases of the disease keep rising, health authorities say there is no cause for alarm. The 4 new confirmed cases we gathered are not related. The 2 were confirmed from the Western region and the other 2 from the Greater Accra region. Earlier, there were 3 cases recorded in the Accra Metro, with 2 more recorded in the Western region. 3 news sources can confirm that contact tracing is still ongoing, while those traced are currently being monitored. Surveillance remains heightened at the regional health directorates as the Ghana Health Service reactivates response protocols, including contact tracing, to prevent further transmission. Alfred.
Okay, let's go back to that conversation with Madam Ocansey. We lost her on the telephone earlier. Madam, you were answering the question about whether this increase in cases should be of concern to us, the members of the general public.
Thank you very much. So increase in the number of cases should not be of concern at all, because currently we are actively searching for cases. And this is because contact tracing is ongoing. And also, since the Ghana Health Service has kind of like activated all its response system and mechanisms, so there's heightened level of awareness among health workers and the populace as well. So any skin lesion that is being seen is reported in the health facility, and those people are being suspected for that. Secondly, we have come a long way with managing outbreaks, and people are made aware of what to expect and what also to do. And in all health facilities as well, measures are put in place for infection prevention and control, and how to be able to isolate the cases and also manage them. So there is no cause for alarm. It's because of our great surveillance system. That's how we're able to pick up the cases easily and early as well.
I see. So what should be the precautionary measure or measures that members of the general public listening to us right now should take on our own to ensure that we curtail the spread as well?
Yes, so that's actually the important thing, that as the general populace, we should all be on the lookout for skin lesions that are unusual. And sometimes people can present the atypical forms of presentation. We are saying that if somebody has a very high fever and you realize they have an intense headache, and that there's this characteristic rash that starts from the face, more dense on the face, and then spread involving the palm and the sole, immediately report to the nearest hospital or facility close to you. And we're also saying that when you are going to the facility, because you might use public transport, it's important to cover the lesions, because the skin lesions are very, very infectious. And they are infectious until the scalp is able to come off, and new skin comes in. So if you don't protect yourself or cover yourself with protective clothing, you would infect anybody that will be on that transport or that will sit on that. We're also saying avoid contact with people that you see have a lesion or a skin lesion on them. Let's avoid shaking hands with people. And we're also saying when you get to health facility, you should be able to use gloves and our personal protective equipment as well. If the lesions are not that severe, you can self-isolate, because it's a viral infection and it is self-limiting as well. Then you need to maintain good personal hygiene. We will also advise that you should avoid intimate contact with someone that you think is infected or exposed to someone with the virus.
On the bit about the public transport advice that you gave, I mean, this is one that if you're sitting in a trotro or of the commercial taxis, you cannot avoid the body-to-body contact of the other passengers in the bus or in the taxis. What do you then advise in an event where the person who's been infected does not take that measure of covering the pulse or the source that this Mpox creates on the skin?
Yes, so if that person doesn't protect himself, then he's exposing all the people there to it. So someone close to you, if you want, because you want to protect yourself, if any clothes or anything, you can actually give it to the person to cover himself. And then you may, if possible, you can ask the person to seek help at the health facility. And when they go there, it will be decided whether the person should self-isolate or be detained in the hospital to be seen. If it becomes possible, the lesions are very, very intense or severe, hospitalization is what will be advised. But if it's not that a lot of skin lesions on the body, if you have any hanky or anything, you can just give it to the person to cover those lesions to protect you. And giving away a hanky or giving away something just to protect us, I don't think it's that bad.
Madam, I do appreciate your time on this, and thank you very much. And we can only wish you all the best while you keep up the good work that you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Right. And this is 3FM 927 here on Hot Edition. You just heard there Madam Grace Adwoa Ocansey, who is the president of the Field Epidemiology and Laboratory Alumni Network of Ghana. This is Hot Edition. A number of you have been sharing your thoughts with us on the issues we've been talking about so far.
Yes, Mahamadou Fuseni Ayibedo again today says, good evening, Mr. Ocansey and listeners. I'm watching you live from Greater Tamale. When did this happen? Before or after the judgment yesterday? Can't judges even discuss their personal issues privately? It seems strange that the suspended CJ never met with other judges to discuss anything except court cases. I'm shocked she's taking it this far. If we are not careful, our judiciary system could be harmed. She says the law is the law, so why is she acting afraid? In my opinion, it's over for her. She should resign and salvage her own image before things get out of hand for her. Well, another person says the vice president's return to the country is a joyful occasion for all of us. He is expressing his warm welcome to you, Mama. May God grant you the strength and long life to continue leading our nation. We pray for your good health and God's blessings, dear Mother Ghana. Your return brings happiness to Ghanaians, and I'm sure many of us missed you dearly, Mama. Well, there are quite a number of them, Alfred. For the sake of time, this is where it will take us to.
All right, and so when we're back, we'll finish up a number of your messages as well on the issues we've been talking about. Stay with us. This is Hot Edition. Bismarck Ewosa is standing by with the latest in the world of business after this quick break.
Get ready, Ghana. The road is calling and the wheels are spinning. It's the 3FM Tour du Ghana happening Saturday, 7th June 2025. From the heart of Accra to the border town of Aplao, we are pedaling for the planet in a thrilling 192-kilometer ride across Ghana's scenic eastern corridor. Whether you're a seasoned cyclist or a passionate pedal pusher, this is your moment to shine. Form your teams, grab your helmets, and race for glory in Ghana's biggest cycling showdown. Challenge your limits, conquer the distance, ride for sustainability, be part of history. To register, call 0531 100 927 or 0532 200 927. 3FM Tour du Ghana, powered by 3FM.
The distance now.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the business segment on Hot Edition. Coming up tonight, Association of Ghana Industries, AGI pushes for tariff reduction, citing cedi's sustained appreciation against the dollar. I am Bismarck Ausa. This headline and other stories lined up for you. Stay with me. Thanks for your company. Now to the very first story. The Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, is advocating for a tariff cut in the next review, citing the crucial role of exchange rates in the determining energy costs. AGI Chief Executive Seth Chumakwabo emphasized that a favorable forex environment should trigger a reduction in electricity and water tariffs. He made the call at the AGI's Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency B2B Expo themed Powering Ghana's Industry Through Sustainable Energy.
A major determinant of the cost of electricity when they are doing the automatic adjustment system is the exchange rates system, and then the international oil price, energy mix, and all that. So we expect that the next review, for example, all things being equal, with the improvement we've seen in the city, we should have it will reflect in the energy tariffs. So if the parameters are pointing to a positive end, then we expect that the energy tariff, for example, will reduce unless we are doing a major adjustment. But if it's based on the automatic adjustment system, so that will improve. So that's the electricity side. The other aspect is that manufacturers import raw materials. When they import the raw materials, it's exchange rate situation. If the exchange rate is good, it means the cost of importation of the raw materials will come down. When it comes down, it reflects in their cost of production and it should reflect in the prices. So macroeconomic stability and improvement and gains in the exchange rate is definitely positive for local production and for our consumers.
And you just heard the Chief Executive of the Association of Ghana Industries, Seth Chumakwabo. Moving on, government will borrow 5.55 billion cedis on the Treasury market tomorrow, May 23, 2025. This will be done via the issuance of 91-day, 182-day, and 364-day bills. The funds will be used to settle maturing bills worth 5.35 billion cedis. Demand for the short-term instruments has declined in recent times, with the government missing its target for the third consecutive week. Last week, investors submitted 5.35 billion cedis in bids, but the Treasury took only 2.76 billion cedis, a sharp pullback from the previous week's full acceptance. Moving on, the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition is encouraging public transport operators to take full advantage of the government's import duty exemption on electric vehicles for commercial use. The policy, it says, will lower operational costs while advancing the country's environmental goals.
The initiative, introduced in the 2024 national budget, forms part of Ghana's broader push towards a more sustainable and eco-friendly transport system. The government scrapped import duties on commercial electric buses to support the rollout of clean public transport solutions. Speaking at a stakeholder engagement on Ghana's energy transition framework organized by the Natural Resource Governance Institute, the Deputy Director for Renewable Energy and Green Transition at the Ministry of Energy, Dr. Robert Sogbaji, urged transport operators to consider switching to electric vehicles in order to benefit from the policy.
Transport vehicles are now going electric, and we are also encouraging trotro drivers, the owners of trotro, to import electric vehicles for free, not for free tax, for tax-free, but for the private sector where you are using your own, Benz or Tesla, for now you have to pay your taxes. If we want to expand on that route, then we have to make sure that we also don't lose out in terms of the value chain.
Meanwhile, the Natural Resource Governance Institute commended government's efforts, particularly the creation of a dedicated ministry, but raises concerns about the financial obligation of the transition.
How will Ghana finance its transition journey, given the current macroeconomic conditions we are in, where will the financing come from? So far, how much has been spent, and where do we intend to get the remaining financing? The framework envisages that about $560 billion will be needed to attain net zero. How much do we have?
And that was a report on the Energy and Green Transition Ministry encouraging public transport operators to take full advantage of the government's import duty exemption on electric vehicles for commercial use. And that brings us to the end of the business segment on Hot Edition with me, Bismarck Awusa. For more business stories, please check out our website, 3news.com. Thanks for your company.
Get ready, Ghana. The road is calling and the wheels are spinning. It's the 3FM Tour du Ghana happening Saturday, 7th June 2025. From the heart of Accra to the border town of Ablao, we are pedaling for the planet in a thrilling 192-kilometer ride across Ghana's scenic eastern corridor. Whether you're a seasoned cyclist or a passionate pedal pusher, this is your moment to shine. Form your teams, grab your helmet, and race for glory in Ghana's biggest cycling showdown. Challenge your limits, conquer the distance, ride for sustainability, be part of history. To register, call 0531 100 927 or 0532 200 927. 3FM Tour du Ghana, powered by 3FM.
With the distance now.
Get ready, Ghana. The road is calling and the wheels are spinning. It's the 3FM Tour du Ghana happening Saturday, 7th June 2025. From the heart of Accra to the border town of Ablao, we are pedaling for the planet in a thrilling 192-kilometer ride across Ghana's scenic eastern corridor. Whether you're a seasoned cyclist or a passionate pedal pusher, this is your moment to shine. Form your teams, grab your helmet, and race for glory in Ghana's biggest cycling showdown. Challenge your limits, conquer the distance, ride for sustainability, be part of history. To register, call 0531 100 927 or 0532 200 927. 3FM Tour du Ghana, powered by 3FM.
Let's now do some sports here on 3FM's Hot Edition with me, Mutala Iyakubu. Now we start with the story of Legon City's whose relegation from the Ghana Premier League was confirmed on Monday after a 4-1 defeat to Nations FC at the University of Ghana Stadium. Once a club that promised a new era of glamour and ambition following their rebrand from WA All-Stars to Legon Cities, now they have fallen short with years of struggle culminating in their drop to Division 1. Let's hear from the club's communication director, Kwame Jumo Ajimai, as he reflects on the challenges and what next for the Royals.
To say that this season has been a very tough one. The results have not gone according to plan. We had very high hopes at the start of the season, but the results have simply not been great. I wouldn't want to say it's been a specific challenge, but I mean, ultimately it will boil down to results. Unfortunately, we've not been good enough on the pitch, and that's why we've been relegated. We did our best as management, doing all the right things, ensuring that we had a team that was good enough to compete. Obviously, we've decided to run the club along the lines of certain models. So if you looked at the team at the onset when we took over as new owners, we're going in for, if you like, the relatively experienced stars, the big stars, if you like. At some point, we decided as a club that we'll go in for a blend of youth and experience. Because when we brought in the relatively experienced stars, we're not
and there's more of this on 3news.com. Make some time and visit 3news.com and join us tomorrow for yet another conversation on behalf of the rest of the team. We do appreciate the company. There's a little hitch as well on Facebook, on our live stream. We do apologize for that. But thank you so much for staying with us here on Ghana Tonight. My name is Al.
That is Kwame Jumo Ajimai there, the communications director of Legon Cities. Now let's move on and talk about the Unity Cup, a celebration of African and Caribbean football culture, is set to kick off in London on May 28th. Nigeria have released their squad, but notable absentees including Victor Osimhen and Ademola Lookman raising questions about the Super Eagles' attacking options. Now, despite missing some regulars, the squad features stars like Samuel Chukwueze, Nathan Taylor, and Kelechi Iheanacho, with Wilfred Ndidi and Frank Enyeka anchoring the midfield. Let's bring in Nigerian journalist and football administrator Ayodeji Agbedoro for more on Nigeria's preparation and expectation.
I don't think for Eric Chell, I don't think his aim is to win the Unity Cup. Winning will be good, but I think he's trying to test new systems, new players, and try to build a formidable squad towards AFCON. Even in the absence of Victor Osimhen and Ademola Lookman, the squad is still strong enough, is good enough. But if you look back, Chell's first game in charge of the Super Eagles was a World Cup qualifier, a must-win qualifier against Rwanda, which he won. The next game, a few days later, against Zimbabwe, the game ended 1-1. Nigeria conceded a late goal. So for him, this is now a chance. This is 2 games in London, 1 game in Russia a week later. This is a chance for him to see new players, test new systems and all of that. You recall that most of our qualifying period, Victor Osimhen wasn't available to us and we struggled. I personally, I term the style of play, the style of football we play as Osimhen, and inshallah, we just lump it forward to him and hope that he does something. When he's on the field, it works. What happens when he's not available? So maybe this is a good opportunity for Eric Chell to find out, can I play without Victor Osimhen? Can I win games without Victor Osimhen? So it's not necessarily about winning, it's about him trying to find out what works, because as it is, we have an AFCON coming up at the end of the year in Morocco. He's got a target to win that. And we also have the World Cup qualifiers resuming around September, I think. For me, it will take a miracle of epic proportions for us to qualify for the World Cup, but AFCON is very winnable. So this is a chance for him to see new players. Some players will leave, some new ones will come in, and the Unity Cup is a perfect opportunity for him to start building his own squad and put his print on the team.
That is Nigerian journalist there, Ayodeji Agbodenro, talking about Nigeria's squad ahead of the Unity Cup, which also features Ghana and Trinidad and Tobago together with Jamaica. Now, let's move on and cross borders to Spain, where after 13 years with Los Blancos, Luka Modric, the Real Madrid legend, has announced that he will be leaving the Spanish Giants after the club World Cup this summer. The 39-year-old, who has been a cornerstone of Real Madrid's midfield for over a decade, revealed this decision in a heartfelt post on Instagram, stating that his final match for the club will be played on Saturday against Real Sociedad at the Santiago Bernabeu. Now, since joining Real Madrid in 2012, Modric has made nearly 590 appearances for Real Madrid, winning an impressive array of trophies, including 6 Champions League titles and 4 La Liga championship. He leaves Spain he leaves Real Madrid as the most decorated player in their history, with some incredible trophies being won together with the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo. Now to the camp of Manchester United, where Ruben Amorim, their head coach, says he would accept his fate if the club decide to sack him after the Europa League final defeat to Tottenham Hotspur. The Portuguese head coach could not make his mark after his side lost 1-0 to Spurs at the San Mamés in Bilbao. Amorim has so far been unable to inspire an improvement since replacing Erik ten Hag in November, leading to questions over his future.
Here defending myself is not my style. I cannot do it. Is really hard for me. So I have nothing to show to the fans and say I'm going to improve because of this. I had these problems. I will not do nothing. So in this moment is a little bit of faith. So let's see. And like I said before coming here in the flash, I'm always open. If the board and the fans feel that I'm not the right guy, I will go in the next day without any conversation about compensation. But I will not quit again. I'm really confident on my job. And as you can see, I will not change nothing in the way I do things.
Ruben Amorim is the manager of Manchester United. Now to North London, where Thomas Partey has been a vital player for Arsenal this season, and manager Mikel Arteta wants him to stay with the Gunners beyond this season. Partey's 5-year deal with Arsenal was signed after his move from Atletico Madrid expires in June. Now, despite Partey's injury-plagued past seasons, he has been a standout performer and had a great campaign with Arsenal, making 51 appearances across all competition, a personal best since joining the club. Arteta expressed his desire to keep Partey at Arsenal, praising his exceptional performance and availability this season.
In regards to Thomas, I think consistency-wise, he's been his best season. I think the way he's played, performed, his availability has been exceptional, and he's a really important player for us.
Away from England, let's head to Italy, where the Serie A title race is going down to the wire with just 1 point separating Napoli and Inter Milan, while several clubs are still vying for Champions League places as we head into the final round of fixtures. Now, for more insights, here is football analyst Philip Sichofe Ashrim, an ardent follower of the Italian football, to break down the permutations.
Yeah, the Serie A season this term has been brilliant. It's been breathtaking, right? And that's largely because when Antonio Conte took over Napoli, the main questions were what he could achieve with the team. Because when Spalletti won with the team 2 seasons ago, nobody really thought that Napoli team was built for title winning. But when Antonio Conte came, he came with a reputation. But the question was, can Napoli win the Scudetto in a season that Inter Milan are looking like, the best team in Italy. They are doing it in Europe. They look like they could win everything. So it's really up against it. But Antonio Conte's coaching skill has come to the fore. That is largely because he started the season with playing the way we've known him to play, playing with the back three system. But he faced a couple of challenges because of player profiles. And then he did adjust. He did change the team to play in a way that we've not necessarily seen him play. So he changed the team to play the 4-3-3. And they got players like Scott McTominay and Anguissa box crashing the opponent's box. And, Lobotka dictating the play from deep. So, yeah, it worked a trick for him. Lukaku, his love affair with the coach, always provides, spectacular moments. It's been one of those seasons. But when you also consider the fact that Napoli have lost one of their main outlets in attack, Kvaratskhelia, to PSG in the middle of the season, you'd have thought that would have taken some firepower from the team. But that wasn't to be, because Antonio Conte had a way to get Neres to play well, a way to get Politano to be more productive, and it got a lot of goals from the middle of the park to complement what Kvaratskhelia would have given them. So yeah, Napoli's season has been massive. But when you look at Inter Milan, though, what went wrong for, I think, Simone Inzaghi is that as good as his substitutions are, as good as his players on the bench are, throughout this whole season, they never really stepped it up until the final end of the season, especially in the Champions League. But in the league, every time he had to tweak the team, every time he had to change something, anytime he had to bring on other players, it was never the same. Even though when you look at the names on the bench, you are thinking these names are great. These names, they've got squad in that. It was the impact of those subs in the games that was lacking. But yeah, he's been able to find a tune to it, getting to the end of the season, especially in the Champions League. And we can see how good they've been when they've played in the Champions League, in the knockouts. That you see more recently with Barcelona, how their subs got onto the game to win. But going into the final game of the season, I think at the Maradona, Antonio Conte's experience will come to the fore. But he has to find a way of transcending that to the squad. But the good thing about Napoli is they still got some of the players who won the Scudetto for them around. Sorry about that, the plane is just flying across. So yeah, but he's got some of those. So those players who won the Scudetto couple of last 2 seasons still around, so they can draw from that experience. Remember, Lukaku is a winner. Right? Scott McTominay has won a couple of trophies to hope that they can win the Scudetto. They can get the better of Cesc Fabregas' Como. But what will remain is if Napoli are going to drop points against Cagliari. I don't think so. I think that at the Maradona, Napoli will be just too good for Cagliari, who, to be honest, have got nothing, absolutely nothing to play for this season. They are safe. They've got good points. They won't go into Europe. They won't be relegated. I think that will be enough for them. So I think that at the Maradona, that is where the party is going to be. Antonio Conte and Napoli will win their second Scudetti in the last 3 seasons.
Football analyst Philip Ashim Sichofer thinks that Napoli will win the Italian Serie A this weekend. And that's all by way of sports here on 3FM's Hot Edition. Remember, there's more sports on our social media outlets, 3 Sports, and on www.3news.com/sports. My name is Mutala Yakubu. There's more after this.
Get ready, Ghana. The road is calling and the wheels are spinning. It's the 3FM Tour du Ghana happening Saturday, 7th June 2025. From the heart of Accra to the border town of Aplao, we are pedaling for the planet in a thrilling 192-kilometer ride across Ghana's scenic eastern corridor. Whether you're a seasoned cyclist or a passionate pedal pusher, this is your moment to shine. Form your teams, grab your helmet, and race for glory in Ghana's biggest cycling showdown. Challenge your limits, conquer the distance, ride for sustainability, be part of history. To register, call 0531 100 927 or 0532 200 927. 3FM Tour du Ghana, powered by 3FM.
What's the distance now?
Being a journey of Pan-Africanism and consciousness. It is your regular taxi driver with the urban blend and 3FM 92.7 in living stereo every day, Monday to Friday from 12:30 p.m. till 3 p.m. This is the show everybody listens to, so your business will certainly do well here. My name, Black Rasta. I am the rootical, hairtical, Don Gargan, Mua Fire,
Atinga ya chika fankare, Azure ya chika fankare, Abama ta chika fankare.
3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
Get ready, Ghana. The road is calling and the wheels are spinning. It's the 3FM Tour du Ghana happening Saturday, 7th June 2025. From the heart of Accra to the border town of Aplao, we are pedaling for the planet in a thrilling 192-kilometer ride across Ghana's scenic eastern corridor. Whether you're a seasoned cyclist or a passionate pedal pusher, this is your moment to shine. Form your teams, grab your helmet, and race for glory in Ghana's biggest cycling showdown. Challenge your limits, conquer the distance, ride for sustainability, be part of history. To register, call 0531 100 927 or 0532 200 927. 3FM Tour du Ghana, powered by 3FM.
What's the distance now?
3FM 92.7.
Accra gets busy on this frequency. 92.7.
I wake up early every weekday because of you, to keep you on top of your game. Yeah!
You are at the center of our universe. That's why we make it a duty to serve you only the freshest, hottest news and entertainment. When you want it, where you want it.
Good morning, Ghana, Africa, and the rest of the wonderful world. Welcome to Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Start your day well informed. Start with us on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Catch the all-new Sunrise Morning Show on 3FM 92.7 with me, Johnny Hughes, Helen Apiambofo. Weekdays from 5:55 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on 3FM 92.7.
3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
Accra gets busy on this frequency. 92.7 3FM.